Hello, everyone, and welcome to Auto Asphyxiation. It's Lark.
And Kimberly.
That's right. And today we're going to talk about FIFA. We should do the whole thing. Goal!
Goal!
That was a thing. Yeah, that's a thing. And also, too, it's football, not soccer, but in the US, we call it soccer, but it's the biggest sport. It's the only World Cup that's a real World Cup. Um, the entire world is coming to. Some people say New York, but actually it's New Jersey, right? They're coming to New Jersey.
Well, they changed the name of MetLife Stadium to New York, New Jersey Stadium.
That's right. And you are a person who watched soccer. You're a soccer at one point. You were a soccer fan, right? You like
Yes, I was
did
a
you?
soccer hooligan for a while.
I was gonna say that. I didn't want to like. I'm like, should I say she was in the soccer gang? I don't know if I want to expose you that way, but they probably already know anyway. Everybody probably knows who the hell you are anyway. So, right, one of the headlines that are kind of going on is that people are like, "Oh my God," because Mikey Sherrill is going to make us pay $100 to take New Jersey Transit. Now, granted, that sounds disturbing, but hold on. FIFA has a whole lot of damn money.
FIFA has a lot of money. FIFA is one of the most wealthy organizations on the planet.
Exactly. She is one of the most wealthy organizations on the planet. You think the NFL is something. Well, FIFA is bigger than that. I mean, it's the world. It's a big deal. I went to Total Wine. We should get our wine at Coors Tavern, but I was at Total Wine and they were like FIFA sponsoring these seltzer alcoholic, the pretend alcohol that the kids drink. What's it
Yes,
called?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I keep
The White
asking.
Claw.
I did not know those things had alcohol in them. Like I tried it. I thought
Uh-oh.
it was like a soda.
No,
And then
those things
somebody,
will surprisingly knock you on your ass.
well, I guess my whole Creole roots is like making that like not because I kept going like, is this supposed to be? Is there alcohol in this thing? Anyway, it's a global event. It's coming to our town, and the thing is, this is a conversation I had. So many stadiums in the United States are subsidized by taxpayers, which is because the NFL is a nonprofit and they get subsidized, they get tax breaks, and FIFA is not exactly the same, but so many times people are just like, thank you for coming to our town, and so then we just subsidize everything they're doing, and they give nothing.
Which to me is ridiculous because if you look at the history of FIFA and the things that they do in their host countries, I think it was 2014 they were in Brazil and the displacement of indigenous people, regular citizens, the rainforest, like it was tremendous. It was a tremendous environmental impact, an impact to the indigenous community. And FIFA has the host countries foot the bill for these things, these stadiums and such that go up rather than FIFA donating the money to do it.
And I don't understand why. And the thing is that another thing I think is very interesting is the people who are kind of going, why they have to pay $100 when they know she didn't say commuters had to pay $100. The thing is this: if FIFA essentially, I think in a way this is a way to make FIFA, maybe cough up a little bit more money. um, but who's supposed to subsidize it? The commuters. The commuters are supposed to subsidize it. New Jersey, because that's the whole thing. Is New Jersey subsidizing this? Because even though they're called the New York, New Jersey MetLife Stadium, is New York kicking in some money from that? Because I don't think New York is kicking in any money. And the thing is, this is that you know FIFA is going to be really interesting because it's something which that stadium. Okay, I'm guessing. I think that stadium was like kind of like a post World War II. Is that a new? It's a is
That's
it a
a that's a newer stadium. That took over for Giant Stadium, which was destroyed, but it's basically like they moved the stadium just slightly over and built a new stadium.
Yeah, and I think it's very they built that stadium for cars, and there's kind of some train situation near there, and so why, it doesn't matter, but you're going to have 40,000, and this is an estimate, 40,000 extra riders per match, 8 matches, and it's kind of like, how do we meet this demand without essentially FIFA breaking New Jersey's transit system? I mean, because people still got to go to work and they
Yeah.
still got to do things. And so, like, and the people are kind of like, well, it's going to be, this is not, commuters are not paying $100. I think we want to make that clear that commuters who are not going to the stadium event are not, I mean, not stadium, who are going to work aren't going to pay $100. This is for the people who are going to FIFA, which is not a cheap. These people have money. If you have time to
Yes.
like go to FIFA, to go to World Cup, and to come to New Jersey, this is the amount. $100 is nothing for you. It
Um,
seems like go ahead.
this isn't, the World Cup is not for regular working class people. Like the ticket prices are outrageous, the commuter costs are outrageous. So most working class soccer fans will likely be watching the World Cup at home on TV.
Yeah, and I think this is something that's really, important, that it's, but this is something that's really interesting. Okay, look, we have, if we actually met our goals in regards to the climate crisis, and we got a lot of people from New Jersey to not to get out of their cars, which, if we could get 40,000 people, I think 40,000 people could conceivably get out of their cars. We don't have the capacity. So we should look at this in a way. We should look at this event as kind of like a stress test. Like, oh, how much more public transit would we need to build if we did? I mean, it's kind of like off, and I think it's just, we're so, we're kind of basing this conversation on a episode, not episode, an article in the Guardian. I'm like saying the episode. It's so funny. An article in the Guardian, and it's kind of like a regular trip from New York Penn to MetLife is $12.90. So and they're kind of like saying there's no discount for kids or seniors or riders with disabilities. Look, if you could bring your kid over to New Jersey to New York,
You
you're
don't,
okay. You're
you're
okay.
okay. If you can afford World Cup tickets, your kid doesn't need a discount to ride on the train.
Exactly. And I mean, and the thing is that New Jersey Transit is saying that it's going to cost them like $48 million just to save, for to extra money, extra train, extra security, because of course we don't want something weird to happen. I mean, we are in an interesting time. We are in an
We
interesting
are in very
time.
interesting
I
times.
mean, anything can happen. I mean, the reason why it's kind of like this, why is it so expensive? I want to ask, why isn't FIFA putting up more money? Why is it? It's that's the same thing when we had the Sophie Stadium in Inglewood in LA, and I said, why should the taxpayers pay for a bunch of rich people watching football, playing football, and not only that, the owners have money. We always talk, a lot of times we talk about the players in these, because a lot of times, in regards to, we look at the United States, and we look abroad, the workers are either, sorry, the players are either working class, or they're working class and racialized. So we can, a lot of times they kind of, put those people out there as the rich people. But you know who's even richer? The people who own the teams, the people
Yes.
who own the clubs. We almost never talk about those guys. Think about this, if you can pay somebody $1 million to kick a ball, how much money do you have? And why
Yeah.
are we not asking them? Why do we never ask these dudes for to pay their fair share, whether it's taxes or their hobbies? We always end up paying for them.
With tickets starting out at $150 a piece, FIFA is going to be making hand over fist as far as profit from the World Cup being in our area and around the nation. And FIFA needs to pay their fair share. FIFA needs to subsidize these train rides. FIFA needs to subsidize things so that the burden doesn't fall on taxpayers. And I know that these events will bring a lot of money and such to our area. However, is the cost balancing out with the revenue that we're getting from tourists?
I mean, FIFA is projected to make estimate is like $11 billion. I was like, is that
And
$11 billion from the World Cup? I'm like this, and transportation contribution none. And the thing is that why are they acting brand new about this? They're acting like they're not the World Cup. They're acting
yeah,
like they don't know Paris exists. They're acting like they don't know all of the the tube. They act like they don't know that exists. They act like they don't know bicycling exists. This is the World Cup, so we know you understand what public transportation is. Now, if this was the American version of the World Cup and it was just Canada, the United States, okay, maybe you're ignorant, you don't know. But I know you guys know what a train is. I know Europeans, you know what a train is. I know people in Latin America know what a train is. And those ticket prices, yeah, they may start at $100, but those ticket prices go up to $10,000.
10,000. Can you imagine paying $10,000 to watch a game? Like maybe it's because I've never had that kind of disposable money, but like when I used to go to the soccer games a lot all the time, like we sat in the supporters section, the tickets were $20, and we had a blast. Like I can't imagine that somebody paying $10,000 is going to have a better time than I did sitting in the supporters section. I just don't think it's possible.
Well, they won't have to see us. That's
Yeah.
the whole point. The point is not if we can have a good time. They simply our faces make them sad. They're like working class people. The stench on you. We can't have that. We want to do anyway. And that's the thing. It's like wow. So 10,000 and so that's the thing. I think I'm kind of annoyed about in New Jersey, just trying to make Mikey look bad. And then like I said, this is not even about like this is not partisan, but it's kind of like you know that $100 to somebody who could pay $10,000, essentially going to the World Cup probably is $50,000. Just if you know all the good seats, if you have money, it's just all the things. Okay, I think going to the World Cup to be reasonable, $10,000, a $10,000 trip at the beginning, starting $10,000 starting. It could probably go up to 50, $100,000 just to. I know Burning Man. Burning Man's $5,000, and you're walking through the dirt in
Yeah,
the mud.
you're in the desert, like the heart, the really the desert where there's nothing around. But also like I don't think that people that are spending, in the $1,000 and up range on ticket prices, I don't think they're going to be the people that are commuting to the stadium either. I think that the people that are going to be commuting to the stadium on the trains are the people that are paying $150 for just the base level tickets. And those are the people that have probably saved up a lot of money to take their families to these games. And those are the people that are going to be burdened the most by $100 round trip cost to the stadium.
And that's what you're being very fair, Kimberly. See, we also we have we call our news fair and balanced. So we're not just going screw you. You're not even from here. We don't care anyway. That is correct. And so even New York, New York. I'm sure Mandami's like wondering too, like, what are you doing? The thing is, if you care about your customers, because here's the thing, you guys have the money, you could subsidize the, middle class. They're not cheap. Or you can subsidize the middle class seats if you would like to. The whole idea that daily commuters in New Jersey and New York subsidize them is crazy, especially when not New Jersey, FIFA has the money. They could easily subsidize this for the middle class ticket holders who are supporting them, through buying tickets, through hotel rooms, through food, through just saying FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. It's like wonderful. We're excited. I mean, the thing is that even social media, you got people, you're getting free advertisement now because of the way social media is set up. So
Yep.
the people who are like media savvy, who are not even getting paid, are going to be talking about this. So this is they could view it as they would win if they just gave us a little bit of money, gave us something.
And everybody wants to drag Mikey under the bus about this, but these deals were inked under Murphy. And they were put into place long before she even ran for governor. So there's really not much. Her hands are tied in this. There's not too much that she can do except for, solicit FIFA to chip in some of their fair share and help us out a little bit.
So I
You know,
mean,
the
this is
the
okay.
increase the increased cost of the round trip ticket to go from New York Penn Station to New York New Jersey Stadium and then back to New York Penn Station. They're saying that they need that money for extra rail cars, for security, for extra staff and such. Those are things that FIFA should be subsidizing. FIFA is the one who is bringing the burden onto our area. We didn't ask for this. I know that it's a boon for local businesses and such like that. And I'm not saying that this shouldn't happen in our area, but we didn't ask for it. We didn't ask to pay extra money to get on a train. So with the FIFA holds more money than I can count, more money than God can count. And they really should be helping to subsidize the cities that hold their games.
Yeah, I'm really tired of like kind of like the public being held not like that the if you are a person that critiques professional sports, whether it be FIFA, whether it be the NFL, whether it be the NBA, people try to make it seem like you're being a bad guy. You're like people want to have fun and you're being a stick in the mud. That's the term, right? You're being a
Yeah.
stick in the mud. Why don't you let people why are you being mean to people? Why don't you let people have their fun? And I'm just kind of like anyway, this is a constant conversation. It's a constant battle. And I guess another question is, okay, what if we have a situation where people are, they kind of go, well, if I got to pay $100, I'm just going to get in the Uber. To that I laugh,
Exactly.
but to that I kind of laugh because I'm like, good luck if you think $100 for the tickets are going to be expensive. Wait till you see how much Uber's going to cost you from New York to New Jersey.
Do you
That's
think
going
that
to be
the surge pricing isn't even going to be it's always going to be constantly surge. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. And in contrast, they have a shuttle service as well. When I was doing my research, they have a shuttle service as well for people that don't want to ride the train, but that's $90. And I looked also at Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts, because the Gillette Stadium is also holding some World Cup events. So they do have public transportation to Gillette Stadium, and it is $80 round trip by train and $95 round trip by bus.
yeah. So this is not like an unusual thing that what this is not unusual. This is not unprecedented what she's doing. And also, it's kind of weird. Why does it seem like in New Jersey people seem way more upset about this than in Massachusetts? Why is people being so pressed? And I don't have a problem with people being upset with it. I just feel that the upsetness is directed at the wrong person.
Yes.
But also I'm really wondering what kind of price surging is Uber going to have? It's going to be $500 because I know, just so you folks know, even like us, if we want to take, I would never do this, but say I wanted to go to JFK from my house and take Uber, 100 $150
Yeah,
starting.
it's ridiculous.
It probably would be more than that. It
And
is go ahead.
cabs are cheaper, like a regular local cab company is a lot cheaper than an Uber to go to the airport or to go to the stadium or anything like that, also.
But also, I'm also wondering, kind of like, but okay, here's another thing. I wonder, even though, even okay, say you were going to pay $100, you come to the United States and you're going to pay $100. Do we have the capacity? Say there are people who have wheelchairs. I'm not even saying in regards to how much it costs, but say somebody who could pay $100, but they're in a wheelchair. 40,000 extra people. Do we have the resources, the help? I hope New Jersey Transit, if they do charge this amount, I'm hoping FIFA and New Jersey Transit are mindful of people who are in wheelchairs, who are in walkers, who are going to need help, like getting up and down. As you, I don't know if this is everywhere, but I've gone into some stations and the elevators and escalators are not working. The
Yep.
and this would be a huge problem in the middle of a game. I hope that this is something that people are being mindful of.
I hope
Um,
so too.
because I could just see that being a mess. And people who are in wheelchairs, people who are in walkers, they deserve to have the exact same experience that ambulatory people have. And I'm hoping that that is something they're also very much thinking about. And I'm also kind of just wondering about, you know, we have the situation where we are very much anti-socialism. Like we, not in the United States, we don't like socialism. We don't like socialism, except when it has to do with a football team, except when it has to do with these private companies, except when it has to do with pilot programs. Like I'm building this development. Why do I or tax abatement? So it seems like socialism is fine for corporations, fine for rich people, but socialism for people, that's bad. That's a bad thing. And it's almost like, oh, that's something different. That's, you know what, though? I'm going to tell you something. If you think about it, socialism, neoliberalism is literally socialism for the rich. That's
Yes.
it. And we call it like, because it's kind of like, I always say public private partnership is when neoliberalism is when essentially the government, they call it the state, but in the United States it gets all weird. The state, which is a country, um, helps or subsidizes a business so they can make as much profit possible. They can do as well as possible. That's nothing but socialism for rich people. Because that's
Yep.
exactly, if you did that for people like us, it would be so that we can be the best people that we can be. But for some reason, it's horrible when it's thought to be applied to a person or the working class, but it's viewed as, well, we're helping the community. And I just think that that's just wild to me. Why are we, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
And yes, it does help the community to some extent, but the burden is also going to be tremendous. And not just the financial burden. We're talking about longer commutes because of traffic, because of people who drive into the area. We're talking about a surge of people just being around our area, utilizing resources and things like that. Like there's a lot more to it than just people are coming to go to a soccer match.
Yeah, and I think that's something we don't really think about is that, traffic policy is social policy. And it's not just now with FIFA, but it's with any time we have any event that is, I think about the path when there's something at in Harrison and they have like games there.
Oh
And
God.
how, yeah, and even when you were just taking the train or something like that, like we have this assumption that, you know, we have capacity, and really New Jersey is kind of at capacity as far as public transit is going. And if we really do want to get people out of their cars, we're going to have to start building
Yes.
more. We're going to have more trains, and this is something I love, the fact that Sherelle is talking about this. We're going to have more trains. We're going to have double decker trains. We're going to have to actually build more lines. We're going to have to extend the light rail. We're going to have to extend the heavy rail. We're going to have to extend the path. These are all things these are social policies. We have the situation where we kind of look at traffic as a separate thing, or even an event like this as a separate thing. And I always wondered, what was Murphy thinking when he made this deal? What was he thinking? I mean, I get you want to have this kind of marquee event, but it's kind of like, wow, like kind of like when you're dating a person and you just like, you have no requirements at all. Like, I'll pay for everything. You don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. I'll do it all. I'll do it all. You don't even have to clean the house. You just gotta sit there and be. I don't feel like that's, you need to have some dignity. And I think this is something that I keep talking about in New Jersey. I feel like New Jersey should understand that it's a center, it's a major metropolitan center. We are worthy. We are worthy enough to negotiate for,
Yes.
we're in a great location. We have great people. We have great infrastructure. I can just imagine. I'm just, because I know they're having some games in Los Angeles, and I'm just like, I am just kind of like, they said they're going to have a car-free Olympics. I am very interested to see how that happens
I,
because I remember that
I am
that's
also very interested to see that because I don't think that that's even feasible. I don't think that's going to happen in Los Angeles. I don't see how it could.
I wonder did they say that it was the 1984 Olympics? Just in case people in LA don't remember, there are some Generation X people who were alive in 1984, and I remember being driven to the well, I think I was like as a 6 or 7 year old. I think I was driven to some event, and I just remember like I don't remember it being car free. But again, I was 6, 7 years old, so I don't know. But I said I don't remember that happening. They said, "Oh, we did it before in 1984," and I was like, "You do know we're alive still."
Yeah, we remember that. I feel like there should have been a drastic ramp up. Like I'm thinking about like when I used to work in retail and like we were getting ready for the holiday season, and because of the holiday season that was coming, we would have to hire additional people. We would have to increase our inventory in the store. There's all sorts of moving pieces when you're planning for a huge event. And I feel like, they're talking about additional rail cars now, and Mikey has, released like her executive order and shown off some of the new rail cars that are coming to New Jersey Transit. But I feel like this stuff should have been ramped up years ago. Staffing, rail cars, and everything in place so that when the World Cup actually happens, it's smooth and we don't run into issues like we're running into right now.
Yeah, that is the thing. You're correct. It's not like we found out about this like 2 months ago. So this was something that was in planning. Um, and Phil Murphy was had 2 terms, and so I know there was some kind of competition in regards to we have the infrastructure. So you knew we kind of can estimate. This is even before our friendly orange friend. This was even before that, and we did. I felt like we didn't really we could have used this opportunity to I thought they used to use this opportunity to extend the light rail, to add in another train. I felt like this would have been a great opportunity to do that.
It
um
absolutely would have been. It would have been a great opportunity to expand the light rail, to reopen old decrepit heavy rail stations around the area. Like this would have been the moment to really show what New Jersey is about. And they kind of just dropped the ball.
Exactly. And so now we're sitting here and it's kind of, I always feel like it's weird. Now I sit here and we have to kind of like be like, now New Jersey has to be like, Mom, you should have told me this. Now I
Yeah.
gotta go out and go get them and get some, poster board in the middle of the night. What is this? Kind of like, this is a situation, and of course, why is Mom being this way? Why is she being mean? Well, dude, if you didn't know this, we didn't know this 2 years ago. We didn't know that this was happening.
I learned something. I was in like a summer project for kids that were falling through the cracks one time. And I learned something during that, and it was a phrase called proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. So when you plan effectively in the beginning, you will have a better outcome instead of like scrambling around. And that phrase has stuck with me in my head my entire life. That's why I'm always early for things. That's why I always have my stuff ready because I know myself. I know my ADHD will get ahead of me and I will forget stuff. And largely, I really feel like this is, and it's not all on Murphy, except I feel like Murphy just kind of laid down and let FIFA do whatever they wanted to. FIFA always offloads infrastructure and operational costs to cities that host their games. They do that globally. And oftentimes, the revenue that's generated is not enough to make up for what those host cities have laid out.
No, it's true. I mean, I understand it is a marquee event, so I'm not like there's a part of me that kind of goes, but it's kind of like going out with star quarterback. Maybe gonorrhea was worth it. I don't know. It's just because it's just very like he's a star quarterback. So yeah, I get it. But the thing is that sometimes we need to do that hard thing, and sometimes we need to be like, not like we got to figure out how to do it in the budget. We got to figure it out. Sometimes it is, hey, no, we shouldn't be bearing the cost. You should. And that sometimes is a responsible thing. It's not like we're putting it back on you, but we're kind of going like, hey, we're looking at this and in the bigger picture of things, what are you going to do? Pull out? You're going to
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah.
What are you going to have it somewhere else? Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't do that, but I think that in the future, but also, like you said, this is their method of operation. This is what they do. So essentially, what we all need to do, all the working classes, we need to go, hey, FIFA, when you come to our towns, we are very happy. We're excited. We love football. We love it. But we also need for you to pay your fair share. You can't make us remove our unhoused people, overburden our public transportation systems. Sometimes, in some cases, they build whole stadiums,
Yeah.
and without you giving us something, especially when your projected profit is a huge amount. Um,
Exactly.
and that's not, and that's just, those are underestimates.
And
But
I think personally, and this is a way out there, but I personally think if y'all are telling us that this is so great to have in our areas, this is so great to have in our cities, where's my chunk of the revenue? Everybody's going to make so much money, everybody's going to be so happy, blah 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 blah. That I'm not seeing any of that revenue. My city is not seeing any of that revenue. Like none of that revenue is going into infrastructure or developments or anything like that in our cities. Like, how is it really affecting common people on a day-to-day basis?
I feel that when they should have done a value capture with the parking, and so essentially a portion of that parking, because they're still going to have, they're not going to do parking, but they for and part of the transportation, part of some, if what we should have done, and what this is what every city should do, every city all around the world, if FIFA comes to your town and essentially they make money or whatever, you need to get a portion of that. You need to put that in there. In regards to like everything they do, you need to put in, I get a percentage, like a good percentage, the value, not some predetermined, but the value of what you get depends on how much money they make. So if the projection is $2 billion and they make $20 billion, it's not like, oh, well, you guessed wrong.
Yeah.
So that's ours. We need to kind of go percentage wise. If you make this amount, then the value capture. If it's called the World Cup, the value capture of the profit of maybe it could go to the world. We could have some weird world distribution. Think about how much this could for countries that are developing, for countries that owe money still to like Europe. We should use FIFA to like pay off people's debts.
That's
This is. Go ahead.
FIFA really should pay. Like it shouldn't be just like a gift that FIFA is coming to your area because in reality, the only people that are going to see a boon from this are people that rent out Airbnbs, hotels, and restaurants. This isn't a boon for the common working person. This is a boon for business owners and corporations that house these people and feed these people. This is not a boon for us. This is not a boon for the regular person that lives in the New Jersey area. Like that money, FIFA profits should go back to host cities to invest in public transportation and infrastructure.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
No. I think it's a perfectly fine opinion. Think about what we could do if every time FIFA came to your city, we essentially built out a whole bunch of public transit, and then we get to keep that instead of keeping a stadium that is used occasionally. We'd all have public transit that we could always use. Like, you know what I mean? Like cities. I think it's something really interesting. A city will build a stadium for FIFA for the Olympics, but they won't build public transit. And
Yeah.
the costs are going to be similar. I don't understand why they can't do that. And that's something that we can use all the time rather than just, 20 times a year. So this is, that's a good point. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Is there anything else that you would like to say, Kimberly?
I think I said it all. I think
You
I said it
did.
all.
You
But
said it all.
you should definitely, raise your voice and speak out about this. It's not too late for us to generate some kind of actual revenue from FIFA for this. We can yell at our governors, we can yell at our Congress people that they should do something about this and that the common person should not be negatively impacted by FIFA coming into our cities.
That's right. These are our school problems, school budget problems. A lot of this money could go to our school budgets.
Yes, it could.
Um, so with that, remember to sign up for our YouTube, sign up to our Substack, sign up to our Spotify. We will talk to you all soon.
Thanks for listening.